I'm back. I just noticed this. This is sick.
Okay, we got a new card.
That's nice. That's a good way to
Don't
start.
touch it.
My accent's really strong again.
Oh, fuck.
So I am delighted to be back in the United States. I had a very nice and refreshing trip. I'm here with my accountant, Jason Rubin. Thanks for wearing a tie.
Your finances are
shirt.
all in line.
They're definitely not after Paris. They're way out of line. But we're in, and it is Tuesday. I would say Tuesday if I was back home, but back in America, so Tuesday.
What's the difference?
Tuesday. Like
Tuesday?
Tuesday. So we didn't get the clips to you because I think I was lost between the time zones. I was in a twilight zone after a while, so I didn't even know what time it was when it came to the Premier League best and worst. But back here on Tuesday, so we're going to talk about too many juicy subjects not to talk about. Jason Swans flying high. Great result against Chelsea first week, and of course another great result going into the second week. So Anu just seems to be on form in the moment. Gomez as well. Both of them seem like a devastating
lethal
partnership.
Front pair to watch. Quite fun.
Yeah. So you're just you bandwagoned, and now you're getting the best out of your bandwagon.
Whoa. The complete opposite of bandwagon is choosing a team like Swansea. The whole reason, or part of the reason I chose a team like Swansea.
Because he gave you a shirt.
Well, yeah, I can be won over by any kind of gift. Sure. But like, you can't root for Manchester United because they buy everybody. That would be the same as rooting. That would be the same as rooting for the New York Yankees, which is just like that's a sin in our country. And you know, like Chelsea, Man City. First of all, nobody's a fan of Manchester City.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a fact.
Yeah.
I looked through multiple polls, and they're just a team in Manchester that plays like with a sky blue jersey.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hate. I love Sergio Aguero. I love watching Manchester City play, but I just don't know where the fans are. And then there's the Arsenal and Liverpool. They have too much of a chance every year to win.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Well, Swansea have continued on from their success, and they're one of my winners for the week. That's a good transition into it. There's a bunch up for potential to make it into Francis Maxwell's worthy choices of winners for the weekend. So Swansea are in there with just a successful start. Leicester City aren't far behind them with their excellent start to the season, and it's refreshing to see Leicester City with this start, but let's not forget, in an early stage last season, they did manage to pull over a 5-3 victory over Manchester United, and everything looked rosy, and then it went right downhill. So people, this is an early disclaimer form that I must say, because the people who are jumping on the Chelsea hating bandwagon, I mean, Chelsea asked for it with Jose Mourinho, with the doctor scandal, with his comments before, with his defending of everything that his players do. He asks for that hate. So people will jump on board and be like, Chelsea are out, they started horribly, and I think it's partly my fault. I'm the official jinx. I said Manchester United had a good chance of winning the Premier League last season. They had a terrible start, lost to Leicester, as we just said. And I said Chelsea were going to win it this season. Rough start already. 1 point from 2 games.
But isn't that the root of the problem right there, is the immediate jump to conclusions bandwagon?
Yeah,
Speaking of bandwagons, but again, Chelsea obviously has some issues to work out in the first 2 weeks of the season, but it's the first 2 weeks of the season, and if I'm correct, this season's going till May.
Yes, absolutely. And this is the one point I must make before I go into my other winners and then go on to losers. So I'm not going to put Chelsea in my losers, right? And you know why? Because like, it was a rough defeat. Bold. Back with the bold. Rough defeat to Manchester City, who are undoubtedly going to be going into my winners. I have to talk about them. But so if this was switched, and Manchester City had this start to the season, or Man United had this start, or Arsenal had the start that Chelsea's had, then I'm thinking, all right, and it's Chelsea who are the front runners, I'm thinking the season, it's already going Chelsea's way, because they're so consistent. Whereas with Manchester City in the front running, with Man United and Liverpool, they're going to drop points. And Chelsea will gain consistency. So don't be thinking that Chelsea, because they've got 1 point from 2 games, are not in the running, and suddenly it's all turmoil there. This is just another task for Jose Mourinho to try and turn around. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just bad results. It's bad defending, and that's what you don't expect from Chelsea, because they're defending. They didn't change anything. The only thing that they changed is like Philip Luis went to Atletico Madrid. They didn't play enough for that to have an immediate effect. Still get Courtois, Ivanovic. Ivanovic has been found out.
I'm sorry, go.
Ivanovic has been found out. For a big thing that I said last season, one of the biggest games last season that I noticed this was against Tottenham when they destroyed Chelsea. Harry Kane ripped Ivanovic a new a-hole, pardon my language, mother, but ripped him inside out. And it's because he's too slow at turning. And at times against Manchester City, he looked like he was running in quicksand mixed with lead. Does that sound awful?
Yeah, it's a very dense material that is going to bring you down. You probably can't turn too much in leadened quicksand. But so what I wanted to talk about more was John Terry. He didn't come out in the second half of the game. which was for the first time in like 150 matches under Chelsea's reign, and the broadcast left no mercy for John Terry, as they almost had John Terry cam in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Because his face, John Terry does not look like a friendly man to talk to, especially being subbed out of a match, and I guess you can say part of his defensive line.
Yeah.
Because he's been a staple to that line for so long. And I understand a lot of fans don't like John Terry.
Yeah.
Because of what he did to his teammate's
Wayne
wife.
Bridge. Yep.
Who is it?
Wayne Bridge.
Wayne Bridge, right. So
He definitely burnt that bridge.
he's back. He's back in living color. Francis Maxwell, everybody. So I just found it very interesting watching in the bottom right-hand corner the John Terry cam that they kept going to. Mourinho looked really, really upset with life. And it was almost like a moment of rejoicing because someone left a comment in our comment section on the Why Does Everyone Hate Chelsea clip that was done a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago when we first started. And some people were deciding with, I don't know if really people like Chelsea outside those who were born there and John Terry.
Yeah. And this is an article that the Telegraph actually ran, which I kind of agree with, but I also have to say it's one of his highest qualities is John Terry is now Chelsea's latest scapegoat for that game to try and take the heat off of the result. Same way with the whole doctor issue.
Right.
It was to
take
the issue away from the Swansea result, which was 2-2, because Mourinho likes to deflect away from the players that people will initially go to criticise. Like, they'll go, Diego Costa's not scoring, or Hazard's not picking up the form from last season or whatever early on. And he likes to deflect. And I'm surprised it's been deflected onto John Terry, who's been, as you said, a staple at the back. So I think he was playing poorly. I think Gary Cahill was playing poorly. And I think Ivanovic was playing equally just as poor as any of them. But to take
anybody play well?
No, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, because with Chelsea, you don't notice when people aren't playing well because they just all fit like a cohesive unit, but you notice when Hazard stands out. But when goals seep through like that and you get Aguero turning Cahill inside out in the box, and it was a great bit of quality, don't get me wrong, but they dropped so deep, and in the first time, and I've watched Chelsea, I'd say in the last 2 years, they didn't look comfortable in the chaos. They were comfortable before. They were comfortable in their own box. When Manchester United pounded them at Stamford Bridge for the second half, they just dropped back. We're like, come on, we can take this. This is no problem. Clearing it every time, holding it in the final third. But Man City look comfortable. They found those little seams, and that's why, for me, they are my second winner for this, because I just thought that they were phenomenal from start to finish, and I think that there's glimpses there when I'm thinking Raheem Sterling is going to be phenomenal for Manchester City. His pace and his aggression, he looks like he's got that passion back that obviously was not there last season for Liverpool. But it's David Silva and it's Sergio Aguero. Like, Aguero, that's Aguero in peak form. When he gets that tight space in the box, can cut inside and score. And who has come back this season to haunt Francis Maxwell? Vincent Kompany.
I was going to say, I was going to mention Vincent Kompany, but before we get to Vincent Kompany, I wanted to mention Raheem Sterling, because in the difference between the his first two matches, in the first match of the season, opening weekend for the Premier League, it looked like every time he got the ball on his first touch, he was trying to flash some sort of brilliance with it, almost to send a message that no, I am worth every dollar that you gave. I'm sorry, every pound that you gave me.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was trying to make a statement, trying a little hard. Granted, he had, I think, 2 or 3 beautiful shots on goal.
Yeah.
That very easily could have gone in. And in the second match, he seemed to be more humbling.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, his pace is what I observed.
Oh, he's so
just
fast.
Observational here.
Yeah.
He is so fast.
Yeah, and that is something that they've lacked in the past from wide areas. Yes, Jesus Navas is fast, but he's not as direct. You'll see Jesus Navas use his speed to get into areas, then slow down. And he'll think about what decision to go, and more often than not, he'll try and whip in the cross, or he'll cut back. And I think he is effective in that way, but Sterling uses that pace and he takes it forward. Like, he knows when he's got to beat players, and with Ivanovic, he seemed like he had the beating from the start.
Have you ever heard of the phrase, we use it here all the time, like you're running downhill? Because the pitch is flat, you can't actually run downhill.
Well, you never know. They might take a little Tom Brady-style approach, and Chelsea might offer a little deflate
balls
on the other side where it's a downhill run. But then both teams would get the advantage, so that's a stupid argument.
That's what Raheem Sterling looks like. It looks like he's running downhill. Similar, here's my comp to when Gareth Bale was in peak form.
Yes,
every time
absolutely.
It just looked like he was running down a steep hill.
Direct. He's so direct. He's similar to Bale that way. So let's get on to losers. I know you've got one straight away. We have to criticise the refereeing. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. So you seem like you still have a soft spot for Liverpool, although you've turned your allegiance towards
very actually, based on the conversations I've had with you since you've gotten back, walking the door around 9 o'clock this morning, Tuesday morning, anybody who's keeping notes of where Francis Maxwell is in the world, now you know.
I don't even know where I am.
So, two things. One, I'm really upset now that I put my money on Harry Kane for the Premier League's leading goal scorer. Not that he's going to finish with a solid amount of goals, but I don't know if he's going to lead because it does seem like Benteke could be a dark horse to take that.
Yeah.
He's scored in 12 of his last 13 matches. And even though that call was, in my opinion, offsides, even though you're going to disagree with me.
No, I'm not going to disagree. I'm going to criticize.
Just prove you really, really wrong.
I'm just going to disagree. I'm just going to go with the problems which this new offside and phase of play has brought in since it was implied, right? So Coutinho starts in an offside position and then comes back, but then he does make an attempt or hinders the vision or tries to affect the play in an offside position. So that is offside. Like Jamie Carragher summed it up and Gary Neville as well, both of them on Sky Sports pundits, very trusty opinions, and they were like, phase of play, new rules, whatever, that's offside. And this is something that Ruud van Nistelrooy from Manchester United used to try and bend the rules with. So he would start on a free kick. This is defensive line. Here we go, right here. And he would start this side of the offside trap, and he'd start there, and it confuses defenders because they have to keep an eye on where's he going.
Right,
they can't mark him because if they drop that deep, then it's a win-win. So Van Nistelrooy would then bend his run as soon as the ball was played, come out of the phase of play, and then go back in from an onside position. That's what I think Coutinho was trying to do. He affected the play. It's still an offside call. So I have to agree with that. But Benteke, not in an offside position, makes a great run at the back post.
He wasn't and like I think I tweeted out, karate kick goals are awesome.
Yeah, he's
that was a studs out leg above his head.
Yeah, and he was close. He was close to me for being a winner just for his overall performance, because I think that he is taking this Liverpool team and he's putting it on his shoulders, not just because of the way that he's been playing for them in terms of holding up the ball, but he understands his role now. You get Balotelli coming in with all the hype that came from him, and it just seems like it just flatters. Like it goes away. Balotelli is the epitome of flatters to deceive. He never really provides, unless he's on form. He's got everything. But even when he's not on form, he's got nothing to add to the game because he's just checked out. Whereas Benteke, if he's not scoring, he's still going to give you the hold-up play. He's still going to give you the strength. He's still going to give you the flick-ons. He's still going to give you something that Liverpool needed and hadn't had last season. Ricky Lambert could have potentially been the player to do that, but just doesn't have the quality to go along with it and that goal-scoring instinct that I think Benteke has. So he's definitely going to be a dark horse.
Balotelli's bench form, peak condition.
Good set. He's got a new set of earrings, I think, that had a little look. He's got a nice suit on. So his bench form is great. He's definitely...
Still love him.
Yeah.
I'm the only one left, so but I still love him.
I think the out-and-out losers is for that, because you've got to feel bad for Bournemouth. They put up a great fight at Anfield, especially against a Liverpool team who... For this, got to take away the credit from it, is that this is the type of games they would lose in last season. And same with Manchester United, which we'll get on to next. This is the type of games that they would lose. These 1-0 hard fought out victories are what you need to start the season, because then when you start to get into your form, you start to adapt to the new players that have came in. Benteke is only going to get better in this Liverpool team. Manchester United are still trying to figure out the kinks, but it's 2 hard fought wins that they've got. And there are signs of I would say, anticipation to see their midfield working together, because I'm interested to see how they're going to adapt. Schweinsteiger, Carrick, Depay, who seems to be filling in that hole a little bit more than I'd expect him. I didn't expect him to fit into that role as well straight away as he did, but he does seem like, similar to what you said with Sterling, seems like he's trying to impress too much, taking shots from like 40 yards and stuff, which I've seen against Tottenham. But there's signs there that you're just... But did they deserve to win both games? I don't know. But that's what good teams do.
They said, like, I'm really happy Manchester United scored a goal of their own this time.
Yes, exactly. That's because that first goal, first of all, Kyle Walker, awful way to start the campaign, but I thought he had a great game that day as well. It was really hard for him because he played well. He played out of his skin. I think he kept Young at bay. But overall, this is what I love about the Premier League. I'm back. I got to just be the Premier League fanboy, which I am, is because it's so unpredictable. I think that, Arsenal as well, I got to touch on them because I haven't talked about them.
Oh, he looked good.
What a goal that was. That was a phenomenal goal. But again, they struggled. There was plenty of times there where I felt that Palace could have definitely come away with the points there. And this
we're allowed to abbreviate to Crystal Palace to Palace?
Yeah, I'm just going to call it
But
Palace.
I can't call Liverpool Pool?
Because it's like 2 separate names, Crystal Palace. Like the way Manchester United, people call them United. You can't just separate one word and call them like, oh, Null? Arsenal.
Okay.
No one even knows. You know that Null? Yeah, they were good. This can go on. See? Who's C, mate? Oh, yeah, Chelsea. So that's never going to work.
The Blues, obviously.
The pool. And same when you call Ronaldo. There's already a guy called Naldo.
That goes back. First of all, I didn't know that originally, and that goes all the way back to when I was in school, and, Naldo.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. No one picks up on that. He's never going to be called Naldo.
They will see Arnaldo.
Oh, Mr. Shite that comes out of your gub. So I guess that's a broad perspective. It's not as narrowed as I wanted it to be on the Premier League, but I wanted to get all my thoughts out from when I know I did the previous clip on the first weekend, but there's still some things I had to talk about. So at the moment, still 100% record for Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Leicester City. So it's exciting. Yeah. I am looking forward to next week's game, which is another fantastic game to look forward to, which is
Arsenal versus Liverpool, Monday Night Football.
Then this is going to be a game where it will show whether Liverpool are really looking to push forward this season, because at the early point of the season, yes, anything can happen, but this would be a great victory for them. And Arsenal look shaky. Liverpool don't look as if they've got into full form yet, but this could be something to kickstart their campaign. And with Arsenal, with that shaky opening day, although they did get the victory at Selhurst Park, this is something they would lose, I think. And I was the first to say, I told everyone so. I was a little bit cocky the way I was telling everyone that Arsenal were going to start the way I felt they were going to start. There is, as I said, plenty of time. But history's not on Arsenal's side. It's not like they have the turnaround where they suddenly just make a resurgence towards the Premier League title. They're very iffy in that way, and I didn't think they strengthened enough this season to add to their excellent quality already to make a good Premier League campaign.
Real quick, any really early predictions for Arsenal Liverpool? I have one, but I want to hear yours.
I think I'm going to go with Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to take this.
An outright winner.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another 1-0. I think they're going to. I think that the only thing at the back is what I said. Like the goal that Bournemouth had chopped off for the alleged push on Lovren. Lovren still looks shaky as ever, and I think he's going to be the factor whether he can tighten up in his marking, he can tighten up in the aspect that he used to play so well for Southampton, his anticipation. If he can do that, then Liverpool will look a little bit stronger. But him and Skirtle at the back still look dodgy for me. And if Arsenal are going to score, they're going to exploit that.
I'm looking at a 1-1 draw.
Wow.
I know, it's not that exciting.
Great way to finish the clip. I am now bored out my mind for this Monday Night Football game. But do you know what was good about being home?
Because 1-0 is the most exciting football match in the history of football.
You're right. Do you know what was good about being home? I woke up, there was football. I took a nap, woke up, there was football. There was match of the day at night. This needs to happen here again. And now that the new NBC deal, it can happen. And I'm looking forward to that. So we want to know what you guys think. Thoughts on round 2 of the Premier League? I tried to hit all the points. Chelsea losing. Man City looking good. Man United and Liverpool making their way through. Leicester doing well. Swansea.
Get in there.
Doing great. And I think you might be the lucky champ. Will you be the lucky champ? They've not had an easy opening couple of games, and they've did well with it.
We'll reach out to my friends when we make the Champions League final next year, 2017.
I think that definitely needs a bold. As bold as anything. So leave your comments in the comment section below, in the comment section below, and in the comment section below. And come back to TYT Sports and subscribe. Plenty more Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A. Any leagues I missed? Just end on that. League One. What is that? The French league?
Argentinian league?
No.
Boca Juniors.
SPL.
SPL?
The Scottish Premiership.
Ah. La Liga D.
Well done.
League 2.